I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
It feels sort of weird doing this because I'm used to like pushing buttons and really just looking at you and not.
Well, you know, we can. Well, none of that. We're doing it in person.
All right.
Right, which is even like I can go, and it's not. I'm not hitting a screen.
Yeah,
right?
You hit a little flesh and bone, but that's okay. But we are the CRM Playaz, and we are. I can't believe this. We're back in Vegas.
What?
We're back in Vegas.
How did that happen?
For a good reason.
What is that?
Oracle CloudWorld. I almost said Oracle Open World.
I know.
But I immediately caught myself and went to the cloud.
To help you along, I saw someone from Oracle actually say Oracle Open World today, so it's okay.
Was it last name Ellison or
no?
All right,
no, he managed to keep it right.
Okay, but we are glad to be here at CloudWorld. We're even glad to be at Vegas. It's been 3 years since we've been here, and I have to say, absence did make the heart grow a little fonder.
I don't know if I can go that far. I will say this, Vegas still has good restaurants.
It does, and actually it's really cool to be back at CloudWorld, well, back to Oracle's main event, which is now CloudWorld. It just feels good. I mean, it does, I remember, it's nice to see the people, it feels good, it's good to see people that we know.
Well, also, you know, I'll say, I mean, given that we're, aside from all the fun socializing, Oracle is really doing some really interesting things this time around. Look, there's not tons of CX, but this whole the whole idea they're doing with clouds, the way that they're viewing platforms and ecosystems, which they're very sophisticated and advanced, has been pretty amazing. I mean, they've come in those 3 years, even though we've been obviously talking to them for 3 years. It's gone from let's say, a rough idea of, they always had a strong idea of platform, but a rough idea of ecosystem to a very sophisticated view of ecosystem, which we saw in that Cerner health ecosystem that Larry was talking about yesterday.
Well, what's really been cool so far from my perspective is that, you know, you come to a Oracle event, and traditionally, I mean, we've been coming for years. Traditionally, you get kind of overloaded with the infrastructure and the tech, and of course the database stuff, which you totally expect. But it was really cool for it to open up really with customer stories, talking about different aspects of applications being used. And then we have coming up after this, we're going to hear from Steve Miranda with the apps keynote. But it feels like maybe due to the focus on industries, that we're hearing a little bit more about the application side of Oracle, and on top of that, CX is really, I think, starting to move a little further out.
Yeah, although I have to say the highlight.
Oh no.
The highlight of my entire Oracle is getting my eyebrows trimmed.
I was going to bring up the makeup.
I knew you would be bringing up makeup at some point. I had to get ahead of you.
We did do Oracle Live yesterday. They tweezed his eyebrows, and folks, I do have a picture, so you will be seeing that picture some point in time. Well, reportedly, there's a picture of me getting makeup. I'm not sure if there is one of those. Oh, yeah, and on the head too. So we'll see if that actually happens. But we do have some really cool guests for our show that is coming up. So, ready to get to some guests?
Yeah, if they're around, I'm happy to have them.
I think we have some guests around.
Yeah,
actually, I do see them.
Well, okay, so we're going to riff a little longer until they're mic'd up.
Absolutely.
So another thing, look, going to what you said, the opening keynote when Safra was speaking was astounding because it was stories, but she was a host rather than a speaker with strategic information, and she did a brilliant job as host. The stories laid the strategy out. The stories were relatable to all the people who were listening. I mean, it really was an extremely well done keynote, and probably the best keynote I've seen at an Oracle event, and actually one of the best at industry events I've seen in a long time.
I think the word I'm going to use for both her keynote and Larry's keynote, they felt very comfortable.
Yes.
Everybody that got on stage looked comfortable. Safra looked comfortable with the, kind of being the host, bringing on the different stories from the different companies. Everybody was casual and calm and told a story that really built on the different aspects of what Oracle has to offer, which I thought was cool. But then, Larry. You got to talk a little bit about Larry before we bring our guests on. How old is he again?
78.
He's the coolest dude. You know, he was up on stage for about an hour and a half, and he didn't feel, rushed. He was cool. He was calm. He was going through his stuff. He was taking his time, and he went through a lot of material. And I thought it was just so smooth how he did it. I really appreciated not only the effort and the information, but just the calm and cool that he delivered it. So I'll give him a lot of props for that.
And I think one final thing before the guests come on, you and I obviously, we built out a network. We're looking at production values of the vendors and what they do.
Yeah.
The production values of this conference have been off the charts.
Just for the sake of what we're doing right now,
Right.
Traditionally, we'd be running around with our own little cameras. They're okay little cameras, but they're not like what we just have here.
No, actually,
We're
we're planning on taking them with us after the show's over.
We're going to take
We'll
down.
give you ours,
Yes,
okay?
we
We'll give you ours.
want the technology and the folks to join us on this. But yeah, you're right, and I think that's one of those components that we're starting to really focus in on. Every conference that we go to, we want to see how they start to let thought leadership be kind of reimagined, if I had to use a term, to look more like what we would normally see as a consumer on a stream of some sort.
Yeah, or on a TV, literally on a TV show.
Absolutely.
So
now let's do the evening news. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to.
we'll just stare at cameras for a little while.
The funny thing about us doing this, I'm paying attention to the camera because I really like the technology.
I know,
for this.
me too.
I'm like trying to take notes of the stands, the lighting, the cameras, the mics. It's cool stuff.
I just have to do this for a minute? Okay, yeah. Okay, not a screen. Okay, I'm sure of it.
You want me to tweeze the eyebrows? I mean, I can do that too.
Yes, I do.
Anyway, folks, we are, we're here live. Actually, you can see people walking behind us, I think, because we are on the exhibitors floor.
There are other people here?
Can't you hear the chatter? Oh, look, chairs are coming in, so that means we're going to have some guests coming in shortly.
Well, this is like magic.
This is really cool because we would have to do that ourselves normally. All right, so we're ready. Since they put up 2 chairs, I guess we're going with the dynamic duo
All right.
coming into the
Jenny
studio
Lamb.
right now.
Hello, Cooperman. How you guys doing?
How are you?
Wow, I guess I'll give you a hug too. We're hugging here. We're hugging folks here.
Yes. This is always.
Let me do the hug here too.
You're a Rams fan. I don't mind the Rams.
We got Rams and Niners fans joining hands here for us.
And we have New York Giants fans too.
Did you
Let's
just
remember
wait a minute?
that.
Did
You're from Boston.
I just hugged the Patriots,
You did.
and it's on camera.
Okay, I'm sorry, the show's
All right,
over.
folks, the show is over.
Good night.
The show is
Patriots
over.
fans sitting with us.
All
that
right.
We actually like. That's a first.
That's true. We're going with the happy tones here. Thank you, the dynamic duo, Jenny Lamb, Hillel Cooperman. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us. We brought gifts.
Oh, really?
Wow.
All right, so we at Oracle we have this whole tradition around pins.
Okay.
So this is you're the first to see the new
Whoa.
iconography
yeah.
for our platform. That's a hummingbird for the Oracle Applications platform in Redwood.
Wow.
So and you guys can decide who gets what.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Wow.
And
And
then
this is the
that's the new Fusion iconography.
rose window.
This is really cool.
So rose window has ERP, prosperity, CX, customer experience,
Thank you.
SCM, and a heart for HCM.
These are
Oh,
awesome.
thank you.
All right.
You know what? I know you like black, so I'm going to let you
Swap
do
'em.
that.
All right.
But
That's
these
all
are
I
really
wear.
cool.
Me too.
Done.
Me too.
These are cool. I will wear this on
You,
the flight
me, and
home.
Larry. All
And
black.
it's a long sleeve T-shirt, you know, like a short sleeve. You're gonna wear that, but a long sleeve shirt. Nice.
You know, I just got the notification that it's freezing in my house in Atlanta, so this will come in handy
Perfect.
when I
You're all
when I
set.
go back.
We knew.
All right.
Okay, let's talk.
So, one of the things that we have always loved about what you guys are doing isn't just your transformation of UI UX, which you have done brilliantly, but how it's changed Oracle's culture. I mean, and I want to tell you, we're talking dramatic change. I mean, don't forget, we have histories with Oracle. Okay, I won't get into the details of it. Let's just say that.
Probably for the best.
But what you guys have done have actually made Oracle a relatable company, an engaged company, meaning both directions, and you've actually made it an enjoyable company, and actually one that people feel like they are comfortable with, and that is not the history. Okay, so you've changed it. So why don't you talk a little more about let's say, starting when you first came and your intent and how you guys saw it evolve and so on? Because to me, that is fundamental.
Okay, happy to do that. But I will quibble with you a little bit.
That's okay.
We didn't change anything to the degree that you are saying. Bear with me.
Okay.
There's a nuance. Look, when Jenny and I came 4.5 years ago to Oracle, and the first thing, we didn't come with a preconceived notion of what Oracle should be or even was. We didn't really know. We spent 6 months meeting with hundreds of employees, partners, customers, but especially employees, senior leaders, individual contributors, to understand, like, why are you here? What are you doing here? What gets you excited every day? And what we found was actually a group of people who deeply cared about customers. They understood that they wanted to make a change in how they were perceived. They understood that the change needed to be embedded in every action they took, both in terms of the technology that they offered to customers and the experience of that, but the experience of also dealing with us. They just didn't always have the language to tell that story. So all that we did was hear that story. We got very excited about it because we were like, oh, okay, these people really care. These are like, I hear humility, vulnerability, introspection, excitement around making customers really delighted. And that's something we always get behind. And so the story at that point was easy, and all we did was give it a voice. And I think, so I appreciate that. And I think the voice is important, and the storytelling is important, so we all have a common narrative for what we're doing here. But that was really, I think, the thing that we, and really Jenny and I would argue, not us, but our team has worked hard to do.
Well,
over the
I'll
past
continue
years.
to argue that, but that's you're a Patriots fan, so I can dismiss your
keep
argument.
arguing.
Fair
I can
enough.
dismiss your quibble.
Okay, fair enough.
But
Well, I mean, when Hillel came to Oracle in 2018 at the very end, and he called me, I was at Amazon at the time, he called me every single day for 4 months, but it wasn't to poach me. It was to tell me what was going on. And it didn't dawn on me until like month 3 that he was saying, basically, he was getting to do his job as a designer. Because that's what you do. You listen, try to distill problems, and then you use creativity to like solve it. And so, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to get your job done without another team or, wanting to do the same thing or not all the leadership behind it. So we're in a really unique position where Oracle's leadership gave us the space to do our jobs.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's not very common in a big company.
I know it sounds strange or like a little thing, but because and I'm not here to disparage any competitors, lovely people doing a good job, but often as a designer you go to these places and they say all the right things, but in reality you're constrained because they don't look at design and a great user experience as a strategic differentiator. And Oracle is the place where they're like, no, we want to be the best at this. We want to leapfrog our competitors and make this not just a checkbox like, oh, okay, Oracle's UI is fine. No, we want to make it a reason you come to us from a competitor. And that was very different.
Wow. All right, I need to take it back just a step, because you guys have been knowing each other and working together for how long now?
50 years.
wow, you look amazing. You look amazing.
No, it's 22 years. Right?
2000?
2000.
Yeah, so 22 years.
22
Yeah.
How do you guys keep working together and you're like Dean
I don't know
Martin
how
and
he's-
Jerry Lewis, the kind of combination?
I don't know how he's not sick of me by now.
I can give you my answer to that question, which is Jenny makes everything better. And she does it. Jenny is my mentor as a designer. She's my mentor as a leader. Jenny has just really a beautiful way of being introspective about work and not falling in love with her work and always be open to trying to make things better. And so I just kind of ride her coattails because everything I've done is always better around her. So I just try to keep it cool so she doesn't get sick of me and just she doesn't realize like I'm just, getting benefit from all her work. So that's kind of my angle.
I'm blushing inside. But it's not true. Like I just think that our relationship and our partnership were really good balance. And And we always, what's really cool is we always feel like the other person's getting like we're getting the better end of the deal. I mean, I'm sure you guys feel this way too, right? Like with your partnership.
Yeah, we do. Different version of it, but yes.
Yeah. We're a good match.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. I mean, your relationship is literally visibly noticeable. I mean, it is. It's so bonded and to your point, complimentary, but it's blatantly obvious to anyone who sees it. You can attribute it to aura if you want, but it's just something about it that just stands out, and people. We're not the only ones who have noticed this when they meet you.
That's very sweet,
Yeah,
and thank you, and I'm getting emotional. But what I will say to you is there's a benefit to it as well, like a practical benefit. I think when people see Jenny and I working together without ego, with not being territorial, being collaborative, being excited about each other's ideas, and being open to learning from other people, they realize like, oh, we're going to be collaborative. We're not going to be territorial. We're not going to let our egos drive us. We're going to be curious and vulnerable, and that is the way to make great things together as a group, I think.
I have a question more on the design level, I guess, because the other thing about the point of all of this, right, is that your designs are like visually super appealing, and I don't want to go into beautiful, pretty. I want to go more to appealing, engaging, even though they are pretty, but pretty goes only so far, obviously, when it comes to design. But these are engaging. Like your eyes stay on it, and and I'm just looking at this particular one, but treat this as metaphor only. There's lots more going on in my head about this, but you want to watch it and you want to sort of understand it, and you kind of then get a feel for it, and then you want to see where it's going, and that's actually the key difference. Pretty means, oh, that was pretty, moment in time, on to the next, that was pretty. With yours is you want to keep going. And I've noticed that with your design, because I'm looking at design of a lot of companies. I look at Infor when they did their original stuff and created their agency and stuff. You guys really are exceptional in terms of that want to keep going part. So I'm curious as how knowing you guys, I'm sure you're very conscious of all that. So how you think about that in a little more detail.
I mean, design is so amazing because it's really all about like listening, distilling down a story, a narrative you want to tell, and then with practice and experience, you're able to use all these techniques and tools like typography and illustration and imagery, and you can create these layers. And this is something that Hillel and I do a lot, and our team does a lot, is when you layer a bunch of stories on top of each other that are authentic to what you're trying to communicate, someone's going to at least pick up on one of them.
How do you, because you're operating in abstraction here too, so how do you keep it like that, storytelling, and still manage to do abstraction and maintain the relationship to that?
It's when you, I think the key is the authenticity, because so when my wife and I are trying to pick furniture for the house or something, and as long as we both agree, I no longer worry that it will fit with the rest of the house.
Okay.
Because it is true to us.
Okay.
And so I think that you don't have to have some grand plan. I mean, we have a plan,
right,
but you don't have to worry so much about, oh, is this going to fit or not? Because as long as you're adhering to things that are authentic, like for example, when you see, if you look up at those big round halos, and you see the textures on them, and those textures are everywhere in all our stuff, those textures are actually data textures. They're meant to represent data. What is Oracle? The data company. And data comes in different forms, and it's in this primitive, and so that intention, it comes from an authentic place. We try to use it consistently and coherently. We try to give different treatments of it to show how data can inform so many different things that we do in our lives, and how all this technology that we build brings it all to life, and it all just reinforces itself. So all these little ingredients, as long as they're grounded in something that is authentic and not, and look, you know this is with people.
Right.
If you meet someone who's trying to tell you what they think you want to hear or trying to be something they're not, you're just like, something's off about that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you meet someone who's like, I'm going to tell you who I am, even though it may not resonate with you, and it may, even if it's not your jam, you're going to like, wow, that person is real.
Yeah.
Thanks. I know who you are. They weren't afraid of what I thought. They're just being themselves. That's attractive, and it's attractive in people, and it's attractive in terms of the companies you want to interact with.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing at it.
I just want to, I'm just going to talk about like the last 2-3 years, all that things have gone through, everything that has happened. How has that impacted the way that you look at design, and how has that impacted the way that Oracle is incorporating all that has happened into design?
The two directions.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think I have to think about that one.
You want me to take a first stab at it?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, for me, I'll just answer for me.
Yeah.
Add on, see what I missed.
Okay.
For me, the last look, we first introduced Redwood to you guys 3 years ago. Here we are 3 years later, and now we've showed up with a platform that our customers and partners can use.
Yep.
Not just that we're using, but it's available to them today. So if they go to redwood.oracle.com, they get all the instructions, designing, developing, go make Redwood applications right now. To me, the last 3 years has been about that transition. It has been about, it's not like we haven't tried to do this before at other companies. But here, again, Steve Miranda, again, hugs us every day, hurry, hurry. But then he also says, do not compromise.
Yeah.
Get it right, make it the best, do it well, even if it takes a little longer, still hurry, I have urgency, but do it right. And that kind of support, it means that the last 3 years what we've been able to do is really just focus on execution. And execution is this beautiful iterative loop. We build stuff, people inside use it, people outside use it. They tell us, here's where you're doing well, here's where the gap is, I didn't understand this, that made sense. We go refine, we put it out again, and we just keep getting better. And that's going to be our journey for the next several years.
That's incredible. Well, one last thing before we have to say goodbye. Jenny, do you have a favorite NFL football team?
A favorite football team?
Oh, yeah, she does.
You're not going to like the answer. Go Pats.
Wow.
Listen, there has to be something you don't like about us.
Well, obviously,
You're just saying that because he likes it, right?
Why are you even mad now? The Patriots are
It's by
terrible
marriage.
now.
Yeah, sorry.
The Patriots are terrible now. Why do you even care?
No, that does make it a little easier to
I
swallow.
mean, wasn't it
You
the last
know,
Super Bowl that we won? We beat the Rams.
I've got to tell you,
You're just
you're
rubbing
going to be
all
the
the
only
salt.
two guests that we will repeatedly invite back despite.
I hug the Patriots fan. I can't believe
Yay!
I'm traumatized for
so
We
much.
won't wear our Patriots gear.
One
No, I
more.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good to
Absolutely.
see you.
So glad we got to be part of your
Yeah.
burgeoning
Oh,
network.
are you kidding? You're awesome.
Thanks, Paul.
right.
All right, dude.
Are you?
Thanks for stopping by.
And just Mississippi Patriots and will forever.
Oh, I like that.
You will.
All right.
Dude, that was fun. We actually got merch.
I'm hoping this has like a Patriot symbol in there somewhere.
Usually, is it like the hosts? Aren't the hosts the ones that give out the stuff?
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So.
Oh, you
All
get to do an intro.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that means you have to do the initial part. I come back with the intro. You
What's
go.
the initial part? We're back. Hi. Oh, this is a new show?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were just
No,
continuing
we
on.
are actually.
All right, so we're continuing on, and as fate would have it, I'm still Brent Leary. So.
I don't know if I'm Paul Greenberg anymore, but I do know this. We have Rob Pinkerton coming on. Rob Pinkerton, who is CMO of Oracle CX, and there is so much more I can tell you about him. I can tell you about his gaming interests. I can tell you about his alcohol interests. I can tell you about his food interests. I can tell you about his work. I can tell you about, this is a wonderful man.
Why don't you let him do some telling?
I think we should do that.
Yeah,
So
probably a good
why
thing.
don't we bring on Rob Pinkerton?
Well, he's still getting mic'd up.
Oh, I guess
So
we
keep
will
tap
almost
dancing.
bring on Rob Pinkerton.
We're almost ready. How'd you like that conversation with the dynamic duo of design? That's what I called it.
Just love those two.
Absolutely.
And to your point about their relationship blows me away every time. It's so visceral, man. You just see it, you feel it every time. They're so close.
You can
and they're
literally
good.
see it.
We've already announced him.
Yeah.
He can come on.
Whenever he's ready.
Whenever he's ready. Just send him on over.
But you know what? What was cool?
He's announced.
Whenever
He can come
whenever
on
he's
over.
ready. Okay. So what was cool is you could see it because as we were asking them questions, you could see them doing visual cues. Who's going to answer what? It was really cool.
I adore them. I never thought
Except
I'd
for the
say it about
Patriots
a
fan
Patriots
thing. I tell you right now, I don't know what Rob's team is.
Oh, I do.
But if he's a Patriots fan,
He's not. We're okay.
Because I was about to say I might have to walk off the stage here.
He's not a Patriots. Rob, come on.
Come on this
Have
way.
a seat.
Yeah.
Come over here. We will.
Yeah,
We will face you, sir. Hey, oh, you know we are.
Good to see you.
I'm good with the handshake. There you go.
Welcome,
All right,
sir.
guys.
I've already told everybody. We know your gaming habits. We know your alcoholic habits. We know your food habits, and we know the work you do.
Okay, I thought we were going to be talking about baseball or football.
I was leaving baseball
I had to stop
out of regard for you.
I had to stop him.
I'm not a trash talker.
No, I had to stop because he was going to tell them everything about you and not leave anything for you to say about yourself.
Oh, that would be easier for me, to be honest. Probably come out better.
You know, because you're relatively new to Oracle, so why don't you tell people a little bit about your journey to the company?
Yeah, absolutely. It's correct. I joined Oracle in April, so
Right.
6 months
Oh, wow.
ago.
Yeah.
Although I don't feel like I'm new to Oracle.
Right.
I broke into this industry a long time ago. Siebel Systems.
Oh, yeah.
Right, good old Siebel System, was a product manager there, so I mean obviously very connected to Oracle and was acquired by Oracle.
Right.
I also worked for Sun,
Yep.
another company acquired by Oracle.
So everywhere you go, they just get bought.
Yeah,
by
they're
Oracle.
going
They
after
were
us.
buying it to get you each time,
think
and then
so.
you quit, and then you go to the next company and they buy that.
Yeah, that's it didn't work yet, but then I went to Adobe, so I've competed against Oracle quite a bit, and then I left and went and did a startup that got acquired by a big global financial services firm called Morningstar, where they made me CMO.
Yep.
So I've been on the buy side for 10 years. And Oracle's been a customer. Actually, pretty much every CRM product has been I've been a customer, right? Or I've been the customer and run them in the stack, and did that for quite a while. Things went well. Rob Tarkoff's here,
Right.
someone I work closely with, and Oracle was putting together this next strategy and invited me to come in, and I thought, all right, well, it'll be fun. Let's go back, make the software, market the software, because I do think we're in a period of change that's coming up, and it would be interesting to.
So taking your role as CMO, how do you? I mean, marketing's changing, obviously, and we know that really well. So how are you? But you've been around the industry since it began, really.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean everyone I know knows you, right? So you're really well known around the industry too. So, but in that, it was all good.
You sure?
I promise. I promise. So, how do you see the changes? How do you see the changes in marketing and the role evolving? I mean, what do you see?
I mean, it's hard to keep pace or track of all the change. I mean, when I left Adobe and thought, and all Adobe was talking about is, how this was going to be this intersection of technology and creativity, and it was going to be this new platform, and I convinced myself I wanted to do that, and it was that. It became a very technical job, and I think for the last 10 years, I mean, marketing has become probably the biggest group of gearheads outside of tech. I mean, which is phenomenal if you think about it. 20 years ago, I mean, it was Mad Men, right? It was kind of a Mad Men culture of big advertising and events, and you have a lot of gearheads in marketing now. It's become very technical. But the other thing that's happened is that parts of marketing have become mission critical to revenue, and you see that. I mean, you see a lot of marketing departments evolving into revenue oriented groups. You see marketing getting pulled into customer, like customer support, customer experience. After this pandemic, marketers have had to become a part of everything almost, right? I mean, the whole world changed, and it went to digital, and they had the skills, and then, so many other responsibilities came up in terms of communication. So marketers are getting pulled in every direction. I'm not sure where it's going to go. That's actually why I came back to technology, because it's getting a little hard. I thought, all right, I'll help build the help tools and technologies for folks, and we'll figure out what the next wave is, because this stuff's hard.
Well, we were speaking with Rob Tarkoff yesterday at one of the little meetings, and he said that one of the things that they're looking at Oracle's looking at is leading with industries.
Yeah.
And I was kind of curious, how does, given that, where does CX fit into that aspect of leading with industries?
Yeah, I mean, I think for Oracle, the way we're thinking about it, I mean, CX is the pointy end of the spear for any go-to-market.
Right.
I mean, because let's face it, every customer experience is an industry experience. When I was the CMO of Morningstar, I mean, we were financial services oriented, and if people came in to pitch me and didn't just have that understanding of like who we were, it fell flat. And I don't mean like, oh, you're in finance, let me tell you about a bunch of banks, because we weren't a bank. I didn't care about that any more than anything else, because that's the context. And industry is context, and context is king in CRM right now. And when you're, if you're in a banking, experience, you expect the customer experience to be oriented to banking. If you're in a healthcare experience, you expect it to be oriented. So it's a natural fit for Oracle, and Oracle's done a lot of its own organic product development, so it can get to that point. So I think it's a natural for us, and Oracle's been, I mean, they can't see this, but in front of us there's this giant, we're in the industry section of CloudWorld, there's this giant car for like police, right? I mean, Oracle's been in like the government industry forever. I don't even know what that car does, but there's a lot of depth here.
We were planning on taking and driving it around, right, see what we could do.
I mean, have you borrowed a police car before? Is that something you?
No, he's sitting in the back seat.
I was in the back seat of several when I was young. So, another thing, obviously, look, right now we have this amazing crew here filming, lighting, doing media basically, right, and producing really high quality video. We have Oracle TV doing really high quality production. The production value associated with the keynotes was astounding, with the crane shots and the backgrounds. It was beautifully done. Media is becoming an increasing part of what companies do. Now, some companies are doing it as media networks, and their strategy it's a big full-on strategy. A lot are doing more point kind of approaches. Let's do this, let's do that, but they're not necessarily connected. How do you view the evolution of that at Oracle, especially in CX? Because that is, let's face it, it's the most right-brain, touchy-feely, and visual part of all of technology world, and all of the way humans actually work, right? So how do you view that in that context, given the generational shift is pretty much saying you got to do that?
Yeah, I think for Oracle, it's kind of a boring answer, because a lot of what the overwhelming opportunity of media means for customer experience is you just need a lot more computing power. I mean, rendering experiences, leveraging all of that media is going to require a lot of computational power, and computational power does not do well with complexity. So, I think customers need to simplify process, simplify stack, make things easier, so you can focus on this next generation of customer experience, which is, I don't even know what it is. Like, we don't really, like, there's so many names for it, right? I mean, whether people want to call it the metaverse or like it's AR, VR, there's IoT, there's all these different things. It doesn't matter. There's going to be another dimension, right? There's going to be another dimension, and those who respond and ready for it, they're going to change it. And that's, you and I are gamers. We think it's got to be good. Like, video gaming is kind of like the future of what people expect. For us, it's computational power.
All right.
Am I getting the hook?
Now, it's time. We just had so many great conversations, and we love having you come in, but got to wrap it up. But we can't wrap it up until we officially get you on the record. I'm almost afraid to ask this, because I think did you already tell me this answer?
I know
This
the
sounds like
answer.
Am I going to be like really upset about this?
No.
All right. So as great as this conversation has been, traditionally speaking, we ask this one last question, and based on the answer to that question, tells us if we'll ever talk to you ever again in life.
Okay.
Not to put any pressure on you.
Do I have to be honest then?
Well, actually, that's up to you.
You can answer any which way you choose.
We're not going to know. I do know the answer.
So, do you have a favorite NFL team?
Of course.
All right.
Who is it?
So what is it?
It's the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, you're safe.
See, I knew the answer.
You're safe, and we send us your apologies to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I need it. Like it'll my fandom will make your fandom feel great.
But do you know one quick fact? The Rams started out in Cleveland.
I know. I do know that.
So you might have been you could have been a Rams fan.
We like the Rams. I mean, they're
friend.
not as pathetic as the Browns.
Wow. Okay.
Well, thank
on
you,
that
sir.
note.
And I will be seeing you, I imagine, in 2 or 3 weeks
Yes.
for lunch.
Let's do it.
I'm looking forward to it, and thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. So this is it for us, right?
Yeah.
So I get to say this. What should I say? On behalf of Rob Pinkerton, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Playaz. We're leaving Vegas, and we got merch with us. So
we'll give you one last shot so you can be jealous.
I'm wearing this tomorrow on the plane. So
I will not be wearing this on the plane.
thanks, everybody.